Hey guys, welcome to Learn Today IGCSE. This video is a tutorial for Chemistry Paper 4 Theory, wherein 4-2 from May-June 2024 examinations. Question 1. A list of gases is shown. Answer the following questions about these gases. Each gas may be used once, more than once, or not at all. Question A. State one gas which is the main constituent of a natural gas. Natural gases are a mixture of hydrocarbons, and they are predominantly made up of methane. Next is responsible for both photochemical smoke and acid rain. The gas responsible for that would be nitrogen dioxide. Next is unsaturated. Unsaturated means it contains double bond, which is an alkene. So the alkene here is propene. Next have monoatomic particles. Monoatomic particles are from group 18, and a group 18 element here is only helium. Next, reduces iron oxide in a blast furnace. During the extraction of hematite, carbon monoxide reduces iron oxide in the iron ore to form iron. So the answer here is carbon monoxide. Next, question part B. Nitrogen dioxide and nitrogen monoxide are removed from a car exhaust by a catalytic converter. Write the symbol equation for this reaction. So the nitrogen dioxide will react with the carbon monoxide, producing nitrogen gas and carbon dioxide, which is safe to release to the environment. Now we're just going to have to balance this equation. Since there's 2 nitrogen here, we'll put a 2 here, giving us 4 oxygen here and 1 oxygen here. However, on the product side, we only have 2 oxygen. So to balance it, we can put a 4 here, giving us a total of 8 oxygen, and another 4 here, giving us a total of 8 oxygen. You have 4 carbon and 4 carbon. So now the equation is balanced. Next question part 2. A list of 5 metals is shown. All metals form positive ions. Part 1. Describe how atoms form positive ions. Let's say I have a magnesium atom with an electron configuration of 282. To become balanced, we're going to donate 2 electrons on the outer shell, and that's how we will form a positive ion. Next part 2. State which of these 5 metals in the list has the greatest tendency to form positive ions. To answer this question, you must remember your reactivity series. The elements at the top of the series are more reactive. So between these 5 elements, potassium is the most reactive, making it the greatest tendency to form positive ions. Next question, part 3. Suggest one of the 5 metals in the list which is not likely to show catalytic properties. Catalytic properties are only displayed from transition element. Copper, iron, and silver are transition elements, whereas magnesium and potassium are from group 2 and group 1 of the periodic table, meaning that they will not display any catalytic properties. Next, part 4. State which of the 5 metals in the list is a major component of a stainless steel. Stainless steel is an example of alloy, where it is made up of iron with chromium and other elements, and the major component is iron. Next, question B. A student adds a sample of a metal to an aqueous metal salt in a beaker to see if a displacement reaction takes place. Aqueous means it contains water, so it has H plus and OH minus ion. Complete table 2.1 to show the color of the solution in the beaker at the start and at the end of the experiment. For the first example here, we have a solution of iron sulfate, meaning that it has iron 2 plus, SO42 minus, H plus, and OH minus. Since the solution contains Fe2 plus, it means that the solution would be green in color because iron 2 plus is green. And according to the reactivity series, magnesium is placed above iron, meaning that magnesium is more reactive than iron. So the magnesium will displace iron to form magnesium sulfate. Now there's no longer Fe2 plus present in the solution, meaning that the color will no longer be green. Since Mg2 plus have no color, it will be colorless. The next solution we have here is copper 2 sulfate. Copper 2 sulfate contains of copper 2 plus ion, and copper 2 plus ion have a color which is blue, making this solution to be blue color. And according to the reactivity series, silver is placed at the bottom of copper, meaning that silver cannot displace copper. So the solution will remain as it is, which is copper 2 plus sulfate. So the color in the solution will still be blue. Next, question C. Most group 2 metals form a gas when placed into cold water. An alkaline solution is also formed. Now, when a metal reacts with water, it will form an alkaline solution, which is the metal hydroxide, and hydrogen gas. Part 1. Name the gas formed when strontium is added to cold water. So if the metal here uses strontium, then it will form strontium hydroxide and hydrogen gas. Name the alkaline solution formed when strontium is added to cold water. So as mentioned previously, it will be strontium hydroxide. Next, part 3. One group 2 metal reacts very slowly when placed in cold water. When heated, the metal reacts with steam to form a white solid. Identify this metal and name the white solid formed. Now in group 2 elements, as it goes down the group, it becomes more reactive. So the element that reacts slowly will be the ones at the top. However, beryllium does not react with water, meaning that the element which reacts with water very slowly would be magnesium. So the metal is magnesium. And when heated, the metal reacts with steam, which is H2O, and it will form magnesium oxide with hydrogen gas. So magnesium oxide is the white solid formed. Next, question D. Under certain conditions, iron will react with steam to form an oxide of iron with the formula Fe3O4. Fe3O4 reacts with dilute hydrochloric acid to form a mixture of iron 2 and iron 3 salts and water. Deduce the symbol equation for the reaction between iron 3 oxide and dilute hydrochloric acid. So when iron 3 oxide reacts with hydrochloric acid, so it's going to produce two salts, one with Fe2 plus and the other with Fe3 plus and water. Now if we backtrack the ions that are present, it will be Fe4 plus and O3 minus, reacting with H plus and Cl minus. As we can see here that the anion oxide has formed over here in water. So that means the ion now will react with the anion Cl minus. So when Fe2 plus reacts with Cl minus, we are going to cross the numbers, which are the charges, to get FeCl2. And when Fe3 plus reacts with Cl minus, the 3 will go here and the 1 here will go to Fe, giving us FeCl3. Now we are just left to balance this equation. And this will be the symbol equation for this reaction. Next, question 3. The symbol equation for the industrial production of ammonia is shown. Nitrogen gas reacts with hydrogen gas to form ammonia. Question part A. Name the industrial process. In your syllabus, there are two industrial processes that you have to learn. The first one is Haber process, which is the production of ammonia, and the second one is contact process to make sulfuric acid. So the name of this process is Haber process. Next, question part B. State the meaning of the change of H. This means the enthalpy change of the reaction. And if you see a negative value, it means that the process is exothermic. Next, question part C. State the typical conditions and name the catalyst used in the industrial production of ammonia. All the conditions are stated for you in the syllabus. In your Haber process, you have to use a temperature of 450 degrees Celsius, 20,000 kPa or 200 atm with iron as a catalyst. And make sure to also remember the typical conditions for contact process. Next, question D. State two methods of increasing the rate of this reaction. To increase the speed of a reaction, you can either increase the temperature or increase the pressure. Next, question E. The symbol equation for the reaction can be represented as shown in figure 3.1. Table 3.1 shows some bond energy. Use the bond energies in table 3.1 and the enthalpy change to calculate the bond energy of NH bond in kJ mole. Use the following steps. Okay, for the first step, we are required to calculate the energy needed to break the bonds in the reactants. So that means we have to find the energy over here. We have got one triple bond of nitrogen and the energy is 945, and we have 3 hydrogen bonds. Each hydrogen bond is 435. So that means 435 will be multiplied by 3. And then we're just going to add both of these together, giving you 2250 kilojoule. Next, we are asked to calculate the energy released when the bonds are formed in the products. So this here is the product. However, we don't have the value of the NH bond, so we can't find using the same method that we use for the reactant. However, we are being given with the enthalpy change, which is negative 90 kilojoule. To get this value, is the value of the energy for bond broken minus the energy from bond formed, giving us this value. So the bond broken here is 2250 minus the energy released when bonds form, we'll make it as X, equals to negative 90. So let's just rearrange this and you will get 2340 kilojoules. Now the last step is to calculate the energy of a NH bond. We have found out that the energy released when bonds are formed are 2340 joules. So this means that we have one NH bond, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 NH bond. So the total of 6 NH bond has made up 2340. So to get the value of 1 NH bond, we can just divide it by 6, giving us 390 kilojoules per mole. Next question F. An incomplete symbol equation for the preparation of ammonia in the laboratory is shown. Complete the symbol equation. So we've got calcium in the reactant and the product. We've got nitrogen being used up, chlorine being used up, and we are left with hydrogen and oxygen. So that means the product here would be H2O. Next question part 2, name NH4Cl. The name of this would be ammonium chloride. Next part 3, calculate the volume of ammonia measured at room temperature and pressure, which forms 1.12 gram of calcium oxide, is heated with excess NH4Cl. Okay. Firstly, I'm just going to rewrite the equation. And now we're going to write whatever information that we have been given underneath the compound, like this. We are required to find the volume of ammonia. But to find the volume, we first must need the mole for ammonia, and we do not have that. However, we have the information for mass of calcium oxide, meaning that we can find the mole for calcium oxide and then use stoichiometry to get the mole of ammonia. So to get the mole, it will be mass over relative atomic mass. The mass is 1.12 gram and the relative atomic mass for calcium oxide is 56, giving us a mole of 0.02. Next, we're going to find the mole of ammonia. As you can see here, we're going to use the stoichiometry value. If there's no number, it means it's only 1, and the stoichiometry number for ammonia is 2. So 1 calcium oxide produces 2 ammonia. So if we have 0.02 mole of calcium oxide, that will make 0.04 mole of ammonia. And now we can find the volume of ammonia. To get the volume, we'll just multiply the mole by 24 dm cubed, which is 0.96 dm cubed. The question wants you to give your answer in cm cubed. From dm cubed to convert to cm cubed, we're going to multiply by 1000. So the final answer would be 960 centimeters cubed.